If you don't know why you wake up every morning, the world will decide how you live your life. Right now, some of you feel lost, not broken, just disconnected. You did everything they told you to do. You studied, you worked hard, you stayed quiet, you stayed patient, and still something feels empty. That emptiness isn't failure. It's a signal, a quiet knock from your soul saying, there is more for you. Let me walk with you for a few minutes, not as a teacher above you, but as a fellow traveler reminding you of what you already know. Most people spend their entire lives searching for purpose as if it is something lost outside of them. They move from job to job, city to city, relationship to relationship, hoping that one day something will click and suddenly life will make sense. But purpose is not something you discover the way you discover a new place on a map. Purpose is something far more intimate. It is something you remember. When you were a child, nobody had to tell you who you were. You laughed without permission. You cried without apology. You followed curiosity, not strategy. You didn't ask whether your joy was practical or profitable. You didn't calculate outcomes, you simply lived. And in that living, purpose was already present. Then slowly, very slowly, the world began to speak louder than your inner voice. People told you what success should look like, what a good life should be, what was respectable, what was safe. And each time you listened, you moved a little further away from yourself, not because you were weak, but because you wanted to belong. We all do. Purpose doesn't disappear when that happens. It goes quiet. It waits patiently beneath layers of expectation and fear. That strange feeling you sometimes get, that restlessness, that sense of this can't be all there is. That is not dissatisfaction. That is remembrance trying to surface. The tragedy is that many people misinterpret that feeling. They think something is wrong with them. They think they need to try harder, achieve more, distract themselves better. But the soul is not asking for more noise. It is asking for recognition. Purpose is not about becoming someone new. It is about unbecoming everything you were told you had to be. It is a process of subtraction, not addition. Each false identity you drop brings you closer to the truth you never lost. That is why purpose often returns in quiet moments, late at night, early in the morning, in moments of stillness when the world finally loosens its grip. You remember what you love, what moves you, what feels honest, and for a brief moment you feel whole again. But remembrance requires courage, because the moment you remember who you are, you also realize how far you've drifted. And that realization can be uncomfortable. It can be painful. It asks you to take responsibility for your life instead of blaming circumstances. Many people prefer confusion, because confusion allows delay. Purpose demands action. It asks you to live aligned, even when alignment costs you comfort, approval, or certainty. Remember this, your purpose is not measured by applause, it is measured by inner alignment. When what you do matches who you are, there is peace, even if the path is hard. When what you do contradicts who you are, there is anxiety. Even if the rewards are impressive, you don't need permission to remember. You don't need validation. You don't need a perfect plan. You only need honesty. Radical honesty with yourself. Ask yourself simple questions. What drains me? What energizes me? Where do I feel most alive? Where do I feel like I am pretending? These questions are not philosophical. They are practical. They peel away illusion. Purpose is already woven into your nature. The same way a seed already knows what tree it will become. Seed doesn't struggle to define itself. It simply grows when conditions are right. Your job is not to invent purpose. Your job is to create the inner space where remembrance can happen. Slow down, listen. Be willing to disappoint the world if it means being true to yourself, because the moment you remember who you are, life stops feeling like a question and starts feeling like an answer. Silence is uncomfortable for most people, not because silence is empty, but because silence is honest. When the noise fades, there is nowhere left to hide. No scrolling, no talking, no performing, just you sitting face to face with yourself. And that is exactly why silence is powerful. The soul does not speak the language of urgency. It does not shout over traffic, notifications, and expectations. It speaks softly, patiently. It waits for you to slow down enough to hear it. That is why so many people feel lost while living busy lives. Their days are full, but their inner world is neglected. Look closer. Why at your confusion? It often comes from too many voices pulling you in different directions. Family tells you one thing, society tells you another. Fear tells you something else entirely. And in all that noise, your own voice becomes unfamiliar. Not because it left, but because it was drowned out. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the presence of awareness. When you sit quietly, without trying to fix yourself, something begins to settle. The nervous energy softens. The constant mental chatter slows, and beneath it something steady emerges. That steadiness is not excitement, it is clarity. People often say they don't know their purpose, but what they really mean is they haven't listened long enough. Purpose doesn't arrive as a dramatic announcement. It reveals itself through repeated inner nudges, through patterns, through feelings that return again and again. No matter how often you ignore them, silence allows you to notice those patterns. It allows you to observe your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. You begin to see which desires are borrowed and which are yours, which fears are inherited and which are real. This discernment is impossible in a constantly stimulated mind. At first, silence may feel restless. The mind will resist. It will replay old memories, worries, unfinished conversations. That is normal. The mind is used to being in control. But if you don't run back to distraction, something shifts. The mind gets tired of talking. G. And when it quiets down, the heart steps forward. Your heart already knows where you belong. It knows what feels right and what feels forced. But it can only speak when the noise steps aside. That is why some of the most important realizations in life happen when you are alone. Not lonely, alone. Silence teaches you to trust your inner compass again. You stop asking everyone else what you should do. You stop needing constant reassurance. You begin to feel grounded in your own presence. From that place, decisions become simpler, not easier but clearer. The world will try to convince you that silence is unproductive, that stillness is wasted time. But the truth is, silence is where alignment is born. Action without alignment leads to exhaustion. Action with alignment leads to meaning. Even 5 minutes of intentional silence a day can change your direction. Sit, breathe. Don't judge what comes up. Just watch. Over time, you'll notice that the answers you are chasing externally start forming internally. Silence reconnects you to something ancient and steady inside you, something untouched by failure or success, something that doesn't need approval to exist. From that place, purpose stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like guidance. And once you hear it, even faintly, your life will never feel completely directionless again. because now you know where to listen. Pain is often the place we run from the fastest, yet it is the place that knows us the best. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort, trying to numb it, distract themselves from it, or pretend it doesn't exist. But pain does not disappear when ignored. It simply waits, growing heavier, more persistent, until it is finally acknowledged. There is a reason certain things hurt you more than others, a reason some injustices make your chest tighten, a reason some stories bring tears to your eyes while others pass by unnoticed. That sensitivity is not weakness. It is information. It is direction. Your pain is personal. It is shaped by your experiences, your losses, your disappointments, and your unanswered questions. And within that pain is a quiet invitation, not to suffer endlessly, but to understand deeply. What wounded you is often what awakens you. Think about the moments that changed you. Rarely were they comfortable. Growth almost never arrives wrapped in ease. It arrives through heartbreak, failure, rejection, and loss. Not because life is cruel, but because pain strips away illusion. It removes what is false and exposes what matters. Many people ask, why did this happen to me? But a more powerful question is, what is this asking of me? Pain is not punishment. It is refinement. It forces you to confront parts of yourself you would otherwise ignore. It teaches you empathy, patience, and depth. The world does not need people who have never been broken. It needs people who have been broken and chose to heal. When you understand your own pain, you gain the ability to recognize it in others. And that recognition becomes compassion, real compassion, not sympathy from a distance, but understanding from experience. This is why so many people's purpose is connected to their wounds. The one who was unheard learns how to listen. The one who was abandoned learns how to stay. The one who felt invisible learns how to see others. Your pain shapes your gift, but this requires courage, because facing pain means feeling it fully. It means not rushing past it or covering it with positivity. It means sitting with it long enough to learn what it has been trying to teach you all along. When you stop fighting pain, it changes its role. It no longer controls you. It guides you. You begin to see patterns. You begin to notice how certain struggles keep repeating, not to torment you, but to redirect you. Life keeps tapping the same spot until you pay attention. There is wisdom in your scars. Each one is evidence that you survived something that could have hardened you, but instead softened you. And softness in a world that glorifies toughness is rare. It allows connection. It allows healing. Purpose often emerges when you decide that what hurt you will not end with you. When you choose to transform pain into service, suffering into meaning. This does not erase what happened, but it gives it context. It turns tragedy into testimony. You don't have to relive your pain forever. You only have to learn from it. Once the lesson is integrated, pain sends its grip. It no longer defines you. It informs you. When you honor your pain instead of denying it, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of your past and become a steward of your experience. And from that place, purpose feels less like pressure and more like responsibility. Your pain has already shaped you. The question is whether you will let it close your heart or open it. One leads to bitterness, the other leads to meaning. Listen closely. The places that hurt the most are often pointing you toward the very work you were born to do. The moment you start trying to fit in, you begin to disappear. Not all at once, but slowly. quietly. You laugh when something doesn't feel funny. You agree when something doesn't feel true. You choose what is acceptable over what is authentic. And over time, the distance between who you are and who you present to the world becomes exhausting. From the very beginning, society trains you to blend, to adjust, to smooth out the sharp edges that make you different. Difference makes people uncomfortable. It challenges their sense of normal. So they call it strange, unrealistic, impractical. And if you hear that long enough, you start to believe it. But the truth is, nothing meaningful has ever come from fitting in. Every shift in history, every breakthrough, every healing voice came from someone who refused to become smaller so others could remain comfortable. They didn't set out to be different. They simply refused to betray themselves. Your uniqueness is not accidental. It is intentional. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you see the world, these are not random traits. They are clues. They point toward the role you are meant to play. When you suppress them, you suppress your contribution. Belonging is often mistaken for approval. But approval is conditional. It asks you to perform, to stay predictable, to not change too much. True belonging does not require you to edit yourself. It requires courage to be seen as you are. There is a quiet loneliness that comes from living a life that isn't yours. You may be surrounded by people, praised, successful by external standards, and still feel empty. That emptiness is the cost of self-abandonment. Purpose demands honesty, and honesty will cost you something. It may cost you certain relationships, certain expectations, certain versions of success that were never aligned with you in the first place. But what you gain is far greater. You gain integrity, inner peace, direction. Standing out doesn't mean being loud. It means being real. It means choosing truth over comfort. It means letting your values guide you even when no one is watching, even when no one understands. Fear often disguises itself as practicality. It tells you to be realistic, to wait, to play it safe. But safety without alignment becomes a slow suffocation. You don't die all at once. You just stop feeling alive. When you honor your difference, you give others permission to honor theirs. Authenticity is contagious. It disrupts the unspoken agreement to pretend. And that disruption is necessary for growth. You are not created to be a background character in your own life. You are not meant to follow a path that drains you just because it is familiar. Your life is asking something specific of you, and only you can answer that call. Fitting in may protect you from judgment, but it will never fulfill you. Fulfillment comes from alignment, from living in a way that feels true even when it feels difficult. The world may not celebrate your difference at first, but eventually it will need it. Because what makes you uncomfortable now may be the very thing that brings healing later. Choose courage over conformity. Choose authenticity over approval. Because the moment you stop trying to fit in, you finally begin to belong to yourself. There comes a moment in every life when awareness becomes unavoidable. A moment when you realize that knowing what you're meant to do is no longer the hard part. The hard part is deciding whether you're willing to live it. Purpose once seen cannot be unseen. And that is where responsibility begins. Responsibility is not a burden placed on you by the world. It is a response invited by truth. When something resonates deeply inside you, it asks for your participation. You can ignore it, but it will not leave you alone. It will keep returning in different forms. Restlessness, dissatisfaction, a quiet sense that you are meant for more. Many people mistake purpose for passion alone, but passion without discipline fades. Purpose requires structure, commitment, the willingness to show up even when inspiration is gone, especially when inspiration is gone. This is where most people hesitate, because responsibility removes excuses. Once you admit what matters to you, you can no longer hide behind confusion. You have to choose. And choice demands courage. Living with purpose means accepting that your life is yours to shape. No one else can do the work for you. No one else can take the risks for you. You stop blaming circumstances, timing, or other people. You take ownership. That ownership can feel heavy at first. It exposes your fear of failure, your fear of judgment, your fear of not being enough. But responsibility is also empowering. It shifts you from passive to active, from waiting to building. Purpose is not a feeling you chase. It is a practice you commit to. Some days you will feel aligned. Some days you will feel tired. But discipline carries you when emotion cannot. There will be seasons when progress is invisible, when effort feels unrewarded, when doubt whispers that this path is pointless. Responsibility is staying anyway, not because it's easy, but because it's honest. You begin to realize that comfort and purpose rarely coexist. Purpose stretches you. It asks you to grow into someone capable of carrying it. That growth is often uncomfortable, but discomfort is not a sign of misalignment. It is of proof of expansion. Responsibility also teaches patience. Purpose unfolds in stages. You are not given everything at once. You are given just enough light for the next step. Trusting that process is part of the work. When you commit to your purpose, your identity begins to shift. You no longer define yourself by outcomes alone. You define yourself by consistency, by integrity, by the quiet pride of knowing you didn't abandon yourself when things got hard. And something remarkable happens when you take responsibility seriously. Life meets you halfway. Opportunities align. Support appears, not magically but logically, because clarity attracts movement. Purpose does not promise ease. It promises meaning. And meaning sustains you in ways comfort never can. When you choose responsibility, you choose to live awake. You choose to be a participant in your own becoming, not a spectator. This is the turning point, where intention becomes action, where clarity becomes commitment. There is a quiet truth that many people resist because it challenges the way they were taught to think about success. Purpose is never just about you. The moment it becomes only about personal gain, it loses its depth. It may still bring achievement, but it will not bring fulfillment. Every genuine purpose has a ripple effect. It moves outward. It touches lives beyond your own. This is not because you are obligated to serve, but because meaning naturally seeks expression. When something flows through you, it wants to continue moving. Think about the moments in your life that felt truly satisfying. Not exciting, not impressive, but deeply right. Chances are they involved helping someone, uplifting someone, or contributing to something larger than yourself. Service creates a sense of connection that achievement alone cannot provide. It often teaches you to ask, what's in it for me? Purpose asks a different question, who does this help? That shift changes everything. It grounds your work, it humbles your ambition, it protects you from becoming empty at the top. Our service does not always look dramatic. It doesn't require a stage or recognition. Sometimes it is simply showing up with presence, listening fully, doing your work with integrity even when no one is watching. These small acts, done consistently, shape character. You are. When you serve through your purpose, ego begins to loosen its grip. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing constant approval. You begin to feel guided by something steadier than praise or criticism. That steadiness brings peace. Service also refines your purpose. When you see how your actions impact others, clarity sharpens. You understand what truly matters, what lasts, what heals, what uplifts. Purpose becomes less abstract and more embodied. There is humility in service, but there is also strength. It takes courage to give without guarantees, to invest effort without immediate reward, to care in a world that often rewards indifference. But hat courage deepens you. You start to realize that your talents were never meant to be stored. They were meant to be used. Expression is not arrogance, it is responsibility. When you withhold your gift, the world loses something it cannot replace. Service connects you to humanity. It reminds you that you are not alone in your struggles, that others are carrying invisible weights too. And in that shared understanding, compassion grows. This is why service protects you from despair. When life feels uncertain, serving gives direction. When confidence wavers, service provides grounding. It reminds you why you started. Purpose aligned with service creates resilience. You don't quit easily because quitting would mean walking away from something bigger than your comfort. You endure because others benefit from your persistence. In serving, you paradoxically receive, not always in material ways, but in meaning, in connection, in a sense of rightness that cannot be purchased. Your purpose becomes real when it meets the needs of the world, when your inner calling becomes outward action, when your life becomes useful in the truest sense of the word. And in that usefulness, you discover fulfillment that success alone could never give. Fear is persuasive because it sounds logical. It speaks in reasons, probabilities, and worst-case scenarios. It tells you to wait until you are more prepared, more confident, more certain. And if you listen closely, fear almost always presents itself as wisdom. But fear is not wisdom. Fear is memory trying to control the future. Trusting life does not mean being reckless. It means recognizing that your need for certainty is often the very thing keeping you stuck. Life does not reveal itself all at once. It responds to movement. Clarity follows action, not the other way around. Most people want guarantees before they begin. They want assurance that their efforts will pay off, that their risks will be rewarded, that they will not fail. But life does not work on guarantees. It works on participation. You take a step and life responds. You hesitate and life waits. Fear keeps you negotiating with time. One more year, one more sign, one more plan. And suddenly years pass. Not because you weren't capable, but because you kept asking fear for permission. Trust is not the absence of fear. It is movement in spite of fear. Every meaningful path feels uncertain at first. If it didn't, it wouldn't be growth. The familiar always feels safer even when it's slowly draining you. Trusting life means believing that you are supported by something larger than your current understanding, that even missteps are not wasted, that detours teach you something direct paths never could. Look back at your life honestly. Some of the most important moments likely came from things you did not plan, conversations you didn't expect, opportunities you couldn't have predicted, losses that reshaped you. If life was only logical, growth would be linear. It isn't. It's intelligent in a deeper way. Fear asks, what if it goes wrong? Trust asks, what if it works in ways I can't imagine yet? Fear narrows your vision. Trust expands it. When you trust life, You stop demanding control over every outcome. You focus on alignment instead. You ask, is this true for me? Rather than, is this guaranteed? That shift frees you. Trust also requires humility. It means admitting you don't have the full picture, that your current fears are based on limited information, that life may know something you don't yet see. The next step is rarely dramatic. It's often simple. A conversation, a decision, a boundary, an honest action you've been avoiding. Trusting life means taking that step without needing applause or immediate results. Fear keeps you rehearsing failure before it happens. Trust keeps you present. It anchors you in what you can do now, rather than what might go wrong later. And here is the quiet truth. Fear never disappears completely. Even those who live purposefully feel it. The difference is they no longer let it lead. They acknowledge it and move anyway. Life rewards courage with clarity. Not always immediately, but consistently. Each step builds confidence. Each act of trust strengthens your inner foundation. When you trust life, you begin to notice support where you once saw obstacles. You meet people at the right time, you find strength you didn't know you had. You adapt. Trust turns fear into fuel. It reminds you that growth is not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be alive. You don't need to know how everything will unfold. You only need to be honest about the direction you're being pulled toward. Take that step. Life will meet you there. And when you move with trust instead of fear, purpose stops feeling fragile. It becomes steady, grounded, real. You've walked far enough now to feel it, something shifting inside you, something steady rising where confusion once lived. Purpose was never meant to be loud. It doesn't crash into your life like lightning. It grows quietly, like roots beneath the surface. Look at your journey again. Every delay taught you patience. Every disappointment sharpened your awareness. Every loss stripped away illusion. Nothing was random, nothing was wasted. The moments you thought were breaking you were shaping you. The seasons you felt forgotten were preparing you. You were never lost. You were being led inward. Purpose doesn't arrive when everything is perfect. It arrives when you're honest enough to listen, brave enough to act, and humble enough to serve. You don't need to become extraordinary. You need to become authentic. Extraordinary happens naturally after that. Stop waiting for confidence. Confidence is built through action. Stop waiting for approval. Approval has never created fulfillment. Your life is not asking you to be fearless. It's asking you to be faithful. Faithful to what feels true. Faithful to what keeps calling you back. Stand where you are. With what you have, and take the next right step. Purpose is not in the future. It's in alignment. It's in choosing truth today, again and again, even when it's uncomfortable. And remember this: when your work becomes service, when your discipline becomes devotion, when your courage outgrows your fear, life stops feeling accidental. You don't find purpose, you live it. And the moment you do, you realize you were never searching for meaning. You were becoming it. At the end of your life, you won't be asked how much you earned. You won't be asked how popular you were. You won't be asked how perfectly you followed the rules. You'll be asked by your own soul, did you listen? Did you live in truth? Did you become who you're meant to be? Purpose is not about proving your worth. You are already worthy. Purpose is about honoring the gift of breath you were given. When you put faith before fear, when you put service before ego, when you put truth before comfort, life begins to cooperate with you. You stop chasing meaning and start creating impact. So walk gently, stay disciplined, serve deeply, trust fully, and remember this: when you live aligned, life will always make room for you. That's purpose, that's truth, that's the path. If you want to continue expanding any part further or turn this into a full cinematic YouTube voiceover script with pacing, pauses, and music cues, just say the word T, the end of everything. When the noise has finally fallen away, life does not ask bar you how busy you were. It does not ask how much applause you collected, how many titles you earned, or how well you learned to play the roles handed to you. Life asks something far quieter, far more intimate. It asks whether you are honest with yourself, whether you listened when your soul spoke softly, whether you had the courage to live the truth you felt, even when it cost you comfort. Most people never stop long enough to hear that question. They keep moving, achieving, accumulating, distracting themselves from the stillness where the answer lives. Not because they are shallow, but because stillness requires sincerity, and sincerity asks everything of you. Purpose was never meant to impress the world. It was meant to align you. When alignment is missing, even success feels heavy. You wake up tired even after resting. You feel busy but unfulfilled, surrounded yet strangely alone. And you can't explain it because from the outside your life looks fine. That quiet dissatisfaction is not ingratitude, it is awareness knocking. The soul does not beg, it waits. Life prepares you slowly, patiently, often painfully, not to punish you, but to mature you, because purpose cannot be carried by a shallow version of you. It requires depth, it requires humility, it requires resilience, and those qualities are not taught by comfort. Think about it honestly. The moments that shaped you most were not the easy ones. They were the seasons when you were unsure, when plans collapsed, when PO left, when identity cracked. Those moments stripped away illusion. They forced you inward. They asked you to confront who you were without approval, without certainty, without control. That is where purpose begins to take root. You are never late, you are ripening. Life does not rush what must be strong. Every delay sharpened your discernment. Every disappointment refined your values. Every failure burned away something false. You didn't lose time, you gained clarity, even when it didn't feel like it. Purpose is not a destination waiting for you in the future. It is a way of walking in the present, a way of choosing truth over performance, depth over speed, meaning over recognition. The world teaches you to build a life that looks good. Purpose asks you to build a life that feels right. And those two paths rarely look the same. There will be moments when choosing purpose makes you feel misunderstood, when people question your decisions, when your path doesn't fit neatly into explanations. That discomfort is not a sign you're wrong. It's often a sign you've stopped living for consensus. Approval feels good, but it is temporary. Alignment feels steady, even when it's hard. You were not created to spend your life proving your worth. Your worth was never in question. You were created to express something true through your existence, to let life move through you in a way only you can offer. That expression does not have to be loud. Purpose does not require a stage. Some of the most meaningful lives are lived quietly, faithfully, consistently. Purpose is not measured by visibility, it is measured by sincerity. When your work becomes an extension of your values, when your effort becomes an offering rather than a performance, something shifts inside you. You stop asking, is this enough? And start asking, is this honest? Honesty simplifies life. You stop chasing every opportunity and start choosing the right ones. You stop saying yes out of fear and start saying no out of clarity. You stop abandoning yourself to keep peace with others. That is not selfishness. That is integrity. Purpose is demanding because it refuses to let you live halfway. It asks you to bring your whole self into the room. Your doubt, your faith, your imperfections, your willingness to grow. And growth is never graceful in the beginning. There will be days you question yourself, days you feel behind, days you wonder if you misunderstood the call. That doubt does not disqualify you, it humanizes you. Even those who walk in deep purpose feel uncertainty. The difference is they no longer let uncertainty decide for them. Faith is not certainty. Faith is commitment without guarantees. Faith is taking the next honest step without seeing the whole staircase. Faith is trusting that life responds to sincerity faster than it responds to perfection. When you move in alignment, support appears, not always in the way you expect, but in the way you need. A conversation, a realization, a door you didn't know existed. Life is responsive, but it requires participation. You cannot think your way into purpose. You must live your way into it. Action clarifies what thought cannot, and service grounds what ambition inflates. When your purpose includes others, when it eases suffering, brings clarity, offers hope or creates beauty, it roots you. You stop collapsing inward. You stop obsessing over outcomes. You endure more because something larger than your comfort is at stake. Service does not drain you when it is aligned, it strengthens you. It reminds you why you started when motivation fades. Purpose aligned with service becomes sustainable, and sustainability is sacred, because the goal is not to burn bright and disappear. The goal is to endure, to remain present, to keep choosing truth long after the excitement wears off. Purpose is lived in repetition, in showing up, in doing the right thing again and again when no one is watching. That quiet consistency shapes character, and character shapes destiny. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compare. You don't need to become someone else to matter. You only need to stay honest and keep moving. Life is not testing you to see if you're perfect. It's inviting you to see if you're willing to listen, willing to serve, willing to trust, willing to grow. And when fear rises, and it will, don't try to eliminate it, walk with it. Fear loses power when it is no longer in control. Courage is not loud. Courage is steady. It is choosing alignment today, even if yesterday you failed, even if tomorrow is unclear, even if the outcome is uncertain. Purpose is built in moments like that, so stand where you are, not where you think you should be, with what you have, not what you wish you had, and take the next right step, not the perfect one. Life responds to sincerity faster than strategy, and remember this deeply. You don't live a meaningful life by chasing meaning. You live a meaningful life by living truthfully. When your actions reflect your values, when your discipline serves something real, when your faith is stronger than your fear, life stops feeling accidental. It begins to feel intentional. You were never searching for purpose. You were being shaped for it. And now, it's time to live it. At the end of it all, faith will not ask how loud your life was. It will ask how true it was. Did you listen when the voice inside you whispered, "This is the way"? Did you move when fear said, "Stay still"? Did you trust God enough to walk without guarantees? Because faith is not believing everything will be easy. Faith is believing you were never walking alone. When you put God first, you stop chasing direction. Direction begins to find you. When you walk in truth, strength rises. When you serve with humility, doors open. When you stay disciplined in the unseen moments, life rewards you in ways the world cannot explain. So don't wait for certainty, walk in faith. Don't wait for permission, live in truth. Don't wait for courage, move with obedience. Put God first, not just in words, but in choices, in discipline, in service, in how you live when no one is watching. Because a life built on faith may not always look easy, but it will always be meaningful. And that kind of life is never wasted. At the end of the road, when the body grows quiet and the world loosens its grip, you will not replay your life through trophies or titles. You will not measure it by how busy you were or how admired you seemed. You will feel it in a much simpler way. You will ask yourself one question, honest and unavoidable. Did I live in alignment with what I believed? Faith is not something you carry in your words. It is something you carry in your choices. It is visible not in what you claim on your best days, but in how you move through your hardest ones. Faith is not proven when life is smooth. It is revealed when the path is uncertain and you choose to walk. Anyway, putting God first is not a slogan, it is an orientation of the soul. It means that before you chase success, you choose integrity. Before you chase approval, you choose truth. Before you chase comfort, you choose obedience to what feels right deep within you. When God comes first, fear no longer leads. Fear may still speak, but it no longer decides. You begin to understand that uncertainty is not a threat, it is a requirement for growth. Certainty belongs to the ego. Faith belongs to the soul. Most people want God to bless their plans. Faith asks something harder. It asks you to align your plans with something greater than your preferences. It asks you to trust that there is an intelligence moving through life that sees farther than you do, that understands timing better than you ever could. This is difficult because control feels safe. Letting go feels risky, but control is an illusion that exhausts you. Trust is a surrender that strengthens you. When you put God first, you stop demanding that life makes sense before you move. You move and meaning reveals itself along the way. You stop negotiating with fear. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You act from conviction, not convenience. Faith does not mean you will not struggle. It means your struggle will not be meaningless. There will still be nights of doubt, days of fatigue, moments where you wonder if you misunderstood the call. Faith does not erase those moments. It gives them context. It reminds you that even confusion can be part of guidance when you remain sincere. A life built on faith is not loud. It is grounded. You begin to measure success differently. You measure it by peace instead of pressure, by depth instead of speed, by how aligned you feel when you lay your head down at night. You stop asking, am I ahead? And start asking, am I true? When God comes first, discipline becomes devotion. Your daily efforts, even the unseen ones, carry meaning. You show up not because someone is watching, but because faith has taught you that nothing honest is ever unseen. Service deepens. You no longer give to be admired. You give because you understand that what flows through you must keep moving. You stop asking how much you can keep and start asking how much good you can do. And slowly, without force, life begins to cooperate with you, not because you controlled it, but because you aligned with it. Doors open that effort alone could not open. Strength appears in moments where you expected collapse. Support arrives through people, ideas, and opportunities you could not have planned. Not magically, meaningfully. Faith teaches you patience. It teaches you that timing is sacred, that rushing what must mature only weakens it, that becoming takes time, and time is not your enemy when you are aligned. You stop comparing your path to others. You realize that no one else's timeline has authority over your life. God does not rush souls, He shapes them. Putting God first also humble. SU. You realize that your life is not just about self-expression, but about stewardship, about what you are entrusted with, your gifts, your voice, your influence, your time. Humility does not shrink you, it grounds you. It keeps your purpose clean. It protects you from turning destiny into ego. And when failure comes, because it will, faith catches you. Not by removing the consequences, but by reminding you that failure is not rejection. It is instruction. It refines your motives. It sharpens your clarity. It strengthens your character. Faith allows you to fall forward. You learn to listen more than you speak, to respond instead of react, to trust silence as much as action. You learn that obedience is not passive. It is an active choice to align even when your emotions resist. A faith-driven life does not promise ease. It promises meaning, and meaning carries you through discomfort in ways comfort never could. You begin to understand that the real miracle is not success. It is transformation, becoming someone who can carry responsibility with grace. Someone who can lead without dominating, someone who can serve without losing themselves. When God is first, your identity stabilizes. You are no longer shaken by praise or criticism. You receive feedback without being defined by it. You stand firm without becoming rigid. Your life becomes quieter on the outside and stronger on the inside. You stop chasing signs. You become one. And here is the quiet truth that changes everything. God does not need your perfection. He needs your willingness. Willingness to listen. Willingness to act. Willingness to trust. Willingness to keep going when results lag behind effort. When you live this way, your life becomes an offering. Not dramatic, not performative, just real, consistent, honest. And that kind of life echoes far beyond what you can see. So don't wait for confidence. Confidence follows obedience. Don't wait for clarity. Clarity follows movement. Don't wait for the world to agree with you. Agreement has never been a requirement for truth. Put God first in how you choose, in how you serve, in how you endure, in how you treat people when nothing is at stake. Because when faith leads, fear shrinks. When truth leads, confusion fades. When obedience leads, life responds. A life built on faith may bend, but it does not break. And when your time comes to look back, you won't ask if you were impressive. You'll know whether you were faithful, and that will be enough.